Hello, everybody, and welcome to Homeward Bound. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, we tricked them.
It's happening.
We tricked them. They weren't going to see it coming, but they did.
We did it. Malachi, Unstone Georg, and now the best wizard friends, and we've got a brand new campaign for y'all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be good.
So, everybody, welcome to Homeward Bound. This is a campaign about Kel Marshall William and Marion Grimes trying to make their way home.
It is the sequel, follow-up to Frozen Frontier.
Yes, it is.
Are there, I mean, I'm sure there are spoilers. Do you want to recommend people watch that first, or should they just be jumping right in?
If you want to watch Fro, you should already be doing it right now. It's kind of a little late because there's already spoilers, obviously, just by looking at the cast. So turn this off and go watch Fro first, and then come back and watch this. All right. So there's, I think, one little bit of cleanup we have to solve, and I think that is at the end of Fro. We talked about people going to Swampside. And then that's not really true. We're going to just pick up where they walked out of the cave because that's going to make more sense for our story and more fun. But here we are in Caldonia, all unfrozen and green all over the place. Why don't you guys hop into the disco? And,
Yeah, get some.
I was being blown away by the new overlay, the new splash screen. Neal, looks great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I like the borderless cams.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
we've been a long time working on these overlays. I hope you all like them. And yes, if you pay very close attention, there are little people moving across the screens all over the place.
Neal, you're coming through on the Discord audio as well as
it wouldn't be a Neal stream without some technical difficulties to sort out once things go live.
It's fine. It's fine, guys. It's fine.
It's fine.
All right, so you're both awake is what we had said, right? You applied a poultice to him and dragged him to the edge of the tunnel and looked out into a night sky filled with stars that you do not recognize in patterns you don't understand. They're sort of just everywhere.
I think we've got to sort of get back into the moment because it was very intense that last episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we just camped outside. We've sort of Grimes has dragged me to the edge of the cave.
I don't think we have a tent to camp in. I think we're
we don't
sitting, catching our breath on this cave entrance, looking out over the valley below.
That is the case.
Look at the stars, William.
Look at the grass, the fields.
Well,
What do you mean the stars? Look up.
they're different. Like, tilt my head. They just upside down? No, they're different.
You sure? How long were we in that cave for? It's not summer yet, is it?
I wish Yaramir were here. He'd know what to make of all this.
That is true.
And Faris and Emily and Hughes. And Alicia and... Shake my head. David. So many lives lost to these scrag bastards.
Amelie.
That's what he said first, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or second. And I think we rest here for at least a bit. We were noting that William got brought down to -9 HP in that fight, and is just probably stabilized at 1 with that poultice. Or did
I'm
you?
on 6,
You're on
I think.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
So here you are at the edge of the Scrag Cave looking out, and you sit down and rest. How long do you rest?
I think we should... Well, let's talk the next morning, I guess.
Yeah, I think we probably just pass out until dawn. And then
You
get
pass
up and
out.
Travel by daylight.
So does my sword still work, Neal?
Yep. Your sword is still flaming. You wake up before dawn. The sky is filled with unusual stars still, and The air is
Even
crisp
during the
and
day?
clear. I said before dawn.
Okay.
The air is crisp and clear. And you each gain 8 HP.
8 HP.
I told the players before this, but there are going to be some odd mechanics that are popping up here. These are very intentional, and you should be looking at them not as like the DM is trying to curry favor or curry harm to the players, but as like mechanical changes to the very world you're in. So yes, you wake up and your wounds are massively healed compared to what they would normally be.
How long did we sleep? William, look at your wounds.
Yeah. So does it look like the scars have just healed over in 10 points? Super quick.
Is there any way I can gauge how much time has passed? I mean, I guess I don't recognize the stars or the sun.
There's no moon and there's no sun up. So without
does it
something
feel like we
moving,
slept for, is my first thought that we slept for a week on accident?
it might be. I mean, you were pretty exhausted after doing all of that shit. You might have just like fallen asleep for 48
Is my
hours.
stomach rumbling?
No.
It's not possible, Grimes. We haven't been asleep for a week. It's obvious what's happened here. We've been blessed by Bellet, rewarded for our efforts.
I put a hand on like my chest, on my breastplate. Can I feel warmth?
It flows out from the
Radiating.
breastplate.
Feel its energy? Is that what's nurturing us?
It didn't do before, though, did it?
No, but Neal, any response? Any roll I can make?
Why don't you make me an intelligence check?
Oh, that's my number. Actually, 10. Okay, I can do this.
It seems
pass.
unlikely, but it's definitely not outside of the realm of possibility. You did just complete Bellum's Holy Quest. Maybe he's like helping you out a little. I think
But it doesn't seem
test-
to be. It's not. Is it the? It's not the arm. It's not our armor or any of our equipment.
You don't feel anything different from any of these things, but Grimes, ever the clever fellow, could run a test where he sleeps without his armor and William sleeps with his armor and figure it out.
Oh, that's...
But you definitely don't get like a feeling from any of this stuff. There's no connection to any of these whatsoever. They feel like the same dull pieces of equipment that you had before, except that they're glowing or they're giving warmth and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Except they're heavy magic enchantments.
Let's. Shall we make our way to Swampside? See if we can find a boat or a way to get a message home.
Well, perhaps supplies have been dropped off, or anything. I think we should definitely head to Swampside, but say prayers with me before we leave. And I'll go and kneel down or whatever, say some prayers.
Do you join him, Grimes?
What does praying look like for William? I mean, what are we joining in?
Kneeling down, head bowed, and then just sort of random prayers to Bellum. Thanks for rejuvenating our health. Thank you for allowing us to defeat the Scrags.
I think it's one of those situations where if you kneel down and close your eyes and you're not actually checking, Grimes isn't really going to be doing all. But he'll look up at the sky, standing next to a praying William, say his own prayer.
Okay.
Marco, if you can hear me, save our souls. And then I think Grimes starts walking down the hill, and William eventually finishes his prayer and catches up.
Yeah.
Can I get intelligence checks from both the party members as the day progresses?
Should I roll a second or?
Second check, please. Yes.
Nope, I am distracted.
It's fine then.
Focused.
Don't worry about it.
We have
Okay.
other talents.
Yeah. Well, you guys continue this direction.
So I think we've got to cross some rivers and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you describe what we're walking through? Is this a lush green forest?
Well, it's still got
Dripping
snow.
wet.
Like the snow is still melting in places. There's some patches here. Most of it's clear over there. But it's like sort of a cold rainforest right now. Cold, coniferous rainforest as you walk through. And you get to about this area, this like confluence between rivers. and you see a group of maybe 15 kobolds on your side of the river, and a group of maybe 20 kobolds on the other side of the river. The river's maybe, I don't know, 80, 90 feet wide, and it has a mixture of freezing water and ice and like little tiny icebergs as it runs downstream. The kobolds seem to be separated and trying to find a way to get to each other, but it looks pretty bad.
I think we approached the group of kobolds on our side of the river.
Yep.
Do they see us and flee? Or
They see you and back up against the freezing waters and then pull their feet out of the freezing waters and sort of huddle, afraid.
I say to Grimes that, do we know this tribe, Grimes?
I don't know that I recognize them. All kobolds look alike. Arky Barky! Grimes shouts.
Arky Barky! One of them shouts back.
Who are you?
We're lost!
What pack? And I think Grimes will approach within comfortable speaking distance of the kobolds if they'll allow it.
Yeah. You speak their language. They're pretty terrified of everything that's going on, but you seem to be approaching peacefully. What's your reaction adjust on your charisma?
I think it's 0. I think I have 13 or 12 charisma. Yep, 0.
Oh yeah, you're approaching friendly. They sniff the air. They can they can smell your emotions and think that they're probably fine. Whatever. And then one of them says, "They are. Oh, these guys don't have names. These packs don't have names yet. Oh my god, what am I gonna do?" They are the Dung Dogs. That's what they introduce themselves as, the Dung Dogs. And the lead Dung Dog says, "I am Norglab. Who are you?"
I'm Grimes. This is Captain Marshall. I don't think we've met before. And then I look across the river. Are those Dung Dogs too?
He nods.
Your pack's been split?
He nods.
Well, it appears our first high-level quest is to help the kobolds across the river.
How wide is the river, Neal?
He said 90 feet. 80 feet.
80, 90, yeah, somewhere in there.
Grimes walks next to the river and takes a knee. And puts a hand in the water, or removes a glove and puts a hand on the water. Feels its temperature.
Cold water. It's snow melt. Yeah.
Yeah. How are we going to get across?
Do we need to cross here?
We need to cross somewhere, right?
Do we still have the map, Neal? I guess we don't, do we? Wouldn't have been on our person.
What's not on your person? You don't have a map.
So, I think we obviously know the general layout, but I don't think we can see whether we need to cross here or not.
So I think we will try and find a ford spot.
Okay.
Maybe fell a tree. But I think we want to find somewhere where the river is less than 80 feet across.
Yeah.
With what will you fell your tree? Does anyone have an axe?
Lightsaber.
You have a burning sword made of fire. It doesn't do a very good job of chopping down trees. You could set it on fire and burn the forest down, though, if you wanted.
Well, how's this? I do a bend bars check to just try and pull it down.
Oh, shit. Give me your Ben Bars check. What is it?
40%.
Do we find somewhere where the river is narrower?
You can walk up and down. The kobolds don't come with you.
Okay.
And you do find a spot where it narrows to maybe 30 feet, but the water gets much swifter when it narrows.
This presents a problem, Grimes.
Yeah. I wonder if it's warm enough that the water doesn't matter.
Seems dangerous. Looks very fast. You get swept in.
I can swim.
It's very fast, though. You'll get pulled down the river.
Isn't that where we're going anyways?
I suppose that's right. Maybe we could make a boat.
Yeah, a crude raft.
How fast is it, Neal? Like, is it too fast to be safe?
Do either of you have a swimming proficiency?
I
Right.
do. Yeah.
Well, you know what? You'll probably make it to the other side. I'll have you make swimming checks, and if you fail enough of them, you drown.
No, I mean to, like, get a raft and, like, sail down the river. Rather than walk on foot.
You've never rafted before. You'd be making shit up on your own. Not
Yeah,
to
I
mention,
can't-
you need rope to make a raft, right?
I think we
can't
have
swim
rope scraps. Right, because we had our climbing harnesses, and I strapped William to me, drag him out. So I don't really have rope on the character sheet, but I feel like we've got enough scraps hanging off of us to lash some wood together.
Okay.
I can't swim though, Grimes. It's not safe.
The great William Marshall can't swim?
No, I don't think so.
Would you call any of this campaign safe?
Well, no, but I'm not sure that a single check is what I want to risk my life on. Why don't we, are we on the right side of the river for Conquest? Maybe if we walked up to Conquest, we could find something there.
Nope. You came to the confluence. You are in between two rivers.
Yeah.
The
we
only
can either
way... Go ahead.
back up and try and climb over the mountains. That's probably even more dangerous.
Oof, yeah.
We're nixing warmth mechanics, right? Out of character.
Yeah, your armor nixed your warmth mechanics already.
Yeah.
And the area is warming up. So...
So it's 30 feet at where we are?
Yeah, about 30 feet from side to side. You're probably, a few feet back from the edge of it.
Can you still jump, or you got rid of that magic
I
item?
got rid of that, yeah, that would have been good though.
Mm-hmm.
But, I do have the jumping proficiency. So,
How far can you jump with that? I think it's only like your strength score or something, right?
well, it's pretty high. Neal, can
That's-
I jump a 30 foot across a river?
Let me fix the map right here.
That sounds unlikely.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Okay.
That's the long jump record.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Now
about
you guys-
30 feet.
I think where it was 90 how deep did it look?
At least 10 feet in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to gauge the depth of a river from like 40 feet away,
Yeah.
You'd really need to like get out there and poke it with a stick a few times.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at this jumping proficiency, see what you can do with it. Jumping. A character can accept leaps. If you have a 20-foot running start, you can broad jump 2d6 plus your level in feet. So that is going to be an
Your
average
level?
of 7 plus 9. It's going to be an average of 16 feet for you, William.
It's not enough, is it, Neal? It's just going to get me in the middle of the river.
Well, it gets you halfway across, right? That solves half your problem.
If you start at the top of a tree,
You can't
But you
take
need
a
a-
20-foot running start if you start a tree, right?
jump from tree top to tree top. How close are the trees across? Can I climb to the top of a tree and like canopy crawl across the river?
Maybe
know
if
what?
you use like a lasso, you could pull one of the other trees in.
I don't think I have.
In this area where it's 30 feet apart, there are some branches that come really close to each other, but they're the edges of the branches. So
Yeah.
if you grab
So
them, they'll probably dangle. You might be able
Yeah.
to make it.
So I'm getting the feeling like, yeah, so I could probably canopy crawl. I'm getting the feeling like Grimes has multiple options for getting across, but getting William might be more of a challenge.
It's going to be difficult.
I think maybe we just find that I'm thinking the widest would be the safest, right? And wade across. So I think let's spend some hours wandering up and down the banks of the river and find the safest ford.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
You
Nice and
eventually find a spot. No, don't move the map. A little upriver, where it gets a little bit wider, like 100, 110 feet. And it looks kind of slow.
I feel like it's still dangerous, Grimes, but how much rope do we have?
Negligible. I think we have scraps. We've got whatever's hanging off our climbing harnesses.
It's like this 4-foot section here, a 5-foot section here, a 2-foot section there.
Is there like rocks in the riverbed that if we were to like slip and get dragged, one could make a grab for and use exceptional strength to try and pull themselves back up?
I don't think it's going to be a strength issue because any rocks in the river are going to be smooth and mossy and you won't be able to get a grip. But maybe. I don't know, man. There are rocks in rivers. That's a thing.
I think let's just wade across.
All right, Grimes.
I take extra precaution to secure my gear and secure like perishables higher up on my body.
Shall I go first, Grimes, and then you can dive in?
Let's go together, and we've hold on to this, or like hold on to the climbing harness.
Okay.
So if one of us slips, it can like brace against the other. And I think we slowly start fording across the river.
Okay. Now you said secure perishables. What did you mean by that?
So I've got this healing poultice. I want to like have that, and it's I think just like affixed to my climbing harness.
Okay.
So I'll like affix it to a loop up by the shoulder.
Okay.
I guess that's mostly it. And I don't want to get my blades wet, but I guess that can be repaired.
All right. You make your way across the river. In the very middle, it gets to about waist height. So I will want you to make me a dexterity check to remain standing as you cross the middle of the river. Grimes, you're first. Easy, not a problem.
Can
William?
I have advantage because Grimes passed?
Why does that give you advantage?
Because I can brace onto him if I slip.
I think that's after you slip. We can maybe roll strength checks to keep you up.
Yeah, you're getting through that middle part, and of course the old man loses footings and begins to fall in. Grimes, give me a strength check to pull him back up and pull him through.
No.
Oh, God. You let go of Marshall, and he just goes woof, down river, while Grimes is standing there in the middle of it.
I told you, Grimes!
I think I go like splashing down the river. William!
Do you dive in to
unable to
swim?
keep up with the current.
Okay.
And I think I like start splashing downriver after him, and then like wind up just going diagonally to the opposite shore.
Okay.
Faster out of the water.
All right, William, you're on your own. You're getting swept downriver at a nice pace. I mean, it's not too fast, but it's still a decent pace. It's like walking
Doggy
pace.
paddle.
Just take it a little shortcut.
Do it like the kobolds do.
All right, I think to the kobolds.
We do like a non-proficient swimming check. So my initial concern was the cold, but it seems like our armor is keeping us safe enough from that.
Yep. William, give me a strength check at half your strength. So at D20 plus 9, that's your unproficient swimming check.
Nailed it.
All right, you manage to kick and flail, and eventually your feet keep hitting the bottom of the river enough to like coast you to the side. You wash up on the other shore, dripping wet. The cold water like runs through your body and is freezing because it's icy water, and you're having a hard time catching your breath. What do you have on your person? Because anything that might be strapped to you loosely could have been ripped off in this section of the river.
Okay, well, my shield. No.
Probably not. I think that's attached to you pretty solidly.
A ring, my armor, a short bow and a quiver, maybe.
Is the ring on your hand, or is it in a pocket?
No, it's on my hand.
Okay. What was after the ring again?
Short bow, quiver, and javelins.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to make me saving throws for the short bow. The quiver is fine, but all the arrows in it are gone.
Okay.
And the saving throw for your short bow is going to be a where's the a 10 or higher on a d20. Nope. Short bow's gone. Arrows are gone. Quiver is now empty. Javelin is the same saving throw.
+1 short bow down the fucking drain. Nope.
Javelin's gone too.
Yeah, all right.
All right. You pull up on the other
I've
side.
got the quiver. Wait, no, there's more stuff. My cloak's all right. My boots are okay. The gloves are okay. Silver pendant that my wife gave me. No, it's probably on my neck.
It's on your neck. You're good.
I do have one tinderbox though, and a hoard.
The tinderbox. Give me a check for. Same check.
And the horn's probably on my attached to my belt as well. Tinderbox goes. No, the horn.
The
All
horn
right.
stays. That's the horn of blasting,
Horn
right?
of blasting. No, the horn of blasting blew up, right?
Oh, this is the regular horn. Okay. All right, no more tinderboxes for you.
No.
That might actually bite us in the ass. Was that our
How
last
will you
tinderbox?
ever make
Oh.
peace now?
How will we ever make fire?
We've got a flaming sword, but yeah.
Flaming longsword.
Well, how will we negotiate? I don't know.
Our flaming longsword.
Yes.
Grimes, you can catch up to poor William.
Yeah, I come
some way
running down the
river.
other bank of the river. We meet up some ways.
Ah, Grimes, what took you so long?
Downstream. William, are you okay?
I stand up and yeah, I feel all right. I lost my bow though.
That's fine. You were never much of a shot, anyways.
If we find any more scrags, I'll take one from them.
Oh, that's right. Grimes looks nervously around the woods.
How many do you think we
There's-
killed in there?
I don't know.
20? There could be more left. At least some.
Yeah.
They seem to keep patrols, so we should be on guard.
There's at least the patrol that hit Swampside while we were away.
Well, we haven't got to Swampside yet, so we don't know about that.
Didn't we? Wasn't that in the past? Wasn't there? Didn't we come back to Swampside and find that our message had been etched out?
Yeah, but we don't know that those ones
You
weren't
relocked
back in. We don't know that those ones weren't in the final battle, though.
Yeah. I guess
But yeah.
not.
All right, let's just keep going. Hopefully, if we have to cross any more rivers, which I think we will, they go a bit more easy than that. But now, I think we can get to Conquest now without crossing any more rivers. If we follow this, I think.
No. So we're
Oh, we're just on that
we're
river.
over here now.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're gonna have to cross once more. All right, well, we can follow this for a
Even
long
bigger
time.
river.
Let's keep going.
So let's follow the river here and see if we can find a better place the best place to cross. I guess we want to cross up here, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you guys don't have a map anymore, so maybe I should
No.
just take you off of this screen, since you
Maybe.
don't really know where you're going anymore. I'm gonna bring you here. Well, you can just look at the final dungeon layer map from before.
Okay. But we know the Conquest is in the central lake where all the rivers flow to, right?
Yeah.
So we can
Certainly.
follow the rivers until we get to Conquest.
hmm
And then we know that a river goes all the way to Swampside as well.
hmm
So we can get to Swampside from there. All right, Grimes, let's keep going.
Yep. We walk. Do we need to do anything to warm William back up, or does the armor just emit heat and eventually dry him out?
The latter is the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You find your armor sort of solves all of your cold problems for you. It was freezing while you were in the water, but once you're out, whatever, it's fine. And you keep going.
Shame we don't have the Blink Spear anymore, eh?
You follow the river, you enter this open plain and trudge along the water side. It flows rapidly. You see little icebergs floating in it. But you don't see any other creatures anywhere.
Did you say, when you say plain, is there grass or is it just?
Yeah, the
Melting
melting
earth.
snow reveals grass, and it's not like if in the real world when snow melts, there's like kind of dirt and like little bits of grass that are just shooting up for the first time, or maybe some like old grass that's been frozen below. This is like this plain, like it was a green field that got covered in snow, and the snow melted within like an hour. It's like
Yeah.
regular fresh grass.
I look over to the East Mountains, and do I see like Frostbite flying around, pissed off that everything's not icy anymore?
You do not.
What about? I didn't see any other dragons flying around.
Nope.
Because there's still two left, right? We have another thing to watch out for. That one by the Scrag Cave had it in for us, Scribes.
I'd like to have another crack at that snake.
Yeah. Salty,
Yeah.
salty snake.
So the skies are clear. No birds.
It's still
No
nighttime.
dragons. It's nighttime.
It's still nighttime.
What do you mean still? Wasn't we woke up before dawn and it's
Yep.
still dark?
And it's still dark. Yeah, I think it's clicking in Grimes' head. You've been walking for hours and it's still dark.
Why hasn't the sun risen? I guess we look east in the plain and is there any light on the horizon?
Nope. And
Pitch
now
black?
that you're this far away from the mountains, that you have like a better view of the stars in the sky, the whole sky is not filled with them. It's just the like northern section covered in stars, but like way above and behind and to the other sides, now that the mountains are gone, is completely empty.
I pull a gem of true seeing out of my pocket and look around and see if what I'm seeing is real or if there's any illusions or anything revealed.
Most certainly is real. The stars fill like a cone of the sky in the north, or what was north before you arrived here.
Grimes, what's going on? Why?
It's still dark. Where's the sun?
It must just be. Maybe we just woke up.
The ground, and I mean, there's nothing revealed by the gem of true seeing.
Nothing revealed. Yeah.
Can we see? Yeah. Like, how did we see across 90 feet across the river? Was that just by starlight,
Yeah.
or is there like a twilight?
Well, I
light?
assume you like used your fire to see nearby, and
Yeah.
it is just starlight.
Yeah, that just wasn't clear to me. So we're probably drawn. Do my daggers shed light, or is it just William's sword?
If they produce fire, they shed light.
Okay, but it was like flickering, phased out gray flames.
Yep. And well, you also have your quiver, your ethereal quiver, right? That produces light around arrows, so you can see. You can launch it ahead and see if you need
That's
be.
cool.
You don't have the skull lantern anymore. I think that's gone, right?
Yeah, that's in the volcano.
Okay. Yeah.
Went in with Forrest, that one. I don't like this, Grimes. Let's just keep walking. Maybe the Scrags poisoned us with something. Changed our perceptions. I'm sure it'll wear off. Let's just keep going.
Hours pass. Many hours pass until you reach a confluence of two rivers in this open, desolate, freshly green plain. Most of the snow is gone by now. Sort of just like melts and quickly soaks into the ground or evaporates or just disappears.
Another river.
Confluence.
How far does this one look? Grimes, fire an arrow over there.
I pull out my crossbow, loaded up with a flaming ethereal arrow, and shoot it across.
There's no wind, Grimes. There's no wind at all. You have no penalties with your crossbow now. It fires across. The river's maybe 160 feet here, and right at the confluence is probably the roughest place. If you go downriver, it might get a little bit more gentle.
Mm-hmm. And there were no signs of anything along there were no lucky boats, no bridges.
No boats, no bridges.
You said there were icebergs floating?
Yeah, they're getting fewer and fewer, but there are still some about.
Considering how well it went last time, do we want to try crossing?
What choice do we have? We're gonna have to cross the rivers at some point to get back, right? We're gonna run into the lake.
We need a boat, a bridge.
I wonder if we walk to the lake, I wonder if from there maybe there's some old frozen boats in the lake that we didn't see before because they were frozen over with ice. Maybe you could climb down and get one and bring it to me. It's a stretch, but yeah, this looks dangerous.
I can't see farther than my flaming sword out in front of me.
Still no sunlight. Do the stars move at all in the sky?
No, not an inch. They stay perfectly still.
Oh my god, it's flat Earth. Without the map, Grimes, I don't know where to go. I know that if we keep following the river, we get to Conquest.
Which river?
This is the main river, right? It's getting thicker. It's getting wider as we go towards the center.
I think Conquest is across this in the next, the crook of the next confluence.
Yeah, I agree.
Do we want to swim?
Can we make rope from the bark of trees? Is that how it works?
Says William.
Boris would know.
Yeah.
You typically need specific trees. With a rope use proficiency,
You don't have a rope
Grimes'
making
various other
proficiency.
skills. I don't have a rope making, but I feel like rope use and set snares, you'd at least have an awareness of how these
you
go.
definitely
There is
can't.
no rope making proficiency.
Right, but
It's just like weaving.
Grimes is very certain that you can't use pine bark to make rope. And it's such a ridiculous question. You should probably be looking at William with some amount of disdain.
I think I laughed openly. But... yes, my lord. That's how rope is made.
What about if we cut up some of those strag cloaks to make a rope? That's probably not a cost-efficient solution.
Our scrag boots allowed us to walk atop the snow, right? But we can't walk on water.
Why don't you try, Grimes?
I mean, we just waded through a river. I think it would have been obvious if we could walk on water.
Well, you have a different approach for trying to walk into water than trying to walk on water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you try and walk through snow like you're walking on regular ground, you're going to put toe first, sort of ish, and, like, kick into the snow. Whereas if you're trying to step on it, it's more of, like, a flat-footed technique, right? There are different methods of walking.
Well,
I'll
William's
hold your
already
hand.
made a fool of himself with the rope making question.
I'll hold your hand if you try it.
We're at the bank of the river, right?
Yeah.
I will try to use this magic scrag boot to step onto the water.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I think we all knew that wasn't going to work, but we all have to go through with it anyway, just to make sure.
How dumb would you feel if it did work and you didn't do it for, like...
Exactly,
Yeah. So I think we got to swim across, find the safest place to cross and go for it. Right. Look, what are the chances we find a 1,500-year-old boat?
I am, after my last experience swimming, I do feel a lot better on it, perhaps this time I'll be able to get across.
Yeah. So I think, again, we search for a safe, the calmest place to cross. Probably some ways. We could also try and make it out to one of those ice floats and float our way to Conquest.
Not a bad idea, but we don't want to get swept into the lake at the end. Is there any ice floats like 15 feet in the middle of the river that I could potentially long jump to?
Yeah. There's an ice floe. It's maybe 10 feet wide. You feel like with a running start, you could get to it?
But that would just get me 10 feet into the river and then I'd be stranded.
You'd only be stranded if you couldn't figure out what to do next.
We could float it downstream. Do we have any way to maneuver it?
Can you row an iceberg?
I mean, you can certainly try.
Do my magic arrows have mass? Can I use those to produce thrust? Like, can I just sit there repeatedly shooting magic crossbow bolts?
This is why we don't play D&D with physicists.
I could use my shield. I could use my shield as a paddle, right?
Maybe.
That sounds somewhat reasonable.
All right, Grimes, you go to the ice first, and then I'll jump to it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and wade out to this ice float. You said it's only 10 feet out, so presumably that's not.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like moving down the river, so you'll have to like head downriver and then run up to
downstream ahead of it. I think we probably both do.
Yeah.
And Grimes will like wade swim out to it.
Sure. I mean, it's only 10 feet. You only come up to your knees by the time you get to it. Right?
And I'll try to stand on it.
You go to put your weight on it and immediately break through. It's only a thin crust of ice.
Okay, so this isn't gonna happen.
Had William jumped to it, he immediately would have fallen right through it.
Good times.
And Grimes like splashes back to the shore.
Doesn't look very deep, Grimes, is it?
Here it's not. No, I can How swift is the current?
At the edge of the river, it's not too bad. You know, it's like walking speed. In the middle, it's a little faster. Probably twice as fast.
Yeah.
So 7 miles an hour or something.
Yeah, we've just got to go for it, Grimes. I'm not sure what choice we have.
So I think we find the best place, and Grimes starts waiting out, I guess. If it's pretty slow and we've got this blessed dragon scale mail, Grimes will just wait out up to his waist and sort of get a feel for how swift the current is and look for the safest places to cross.
Yeah, it's a fairly... I mean, the river does wind a little bit, but it goes more or less straight, aside from the little twists and turns. And with the open plain, you can see that it stretches for miles straight.
Even in the dark, we can see that?
I guess in the dark, you're going to have trouble seeing that. That's true. If you launch arrows, you'll be able to see that it goes more or less straight as far as the arrows will go. You can get out to your... Once you get to, like, your rib cage is when the water, the current at your feet is a little bit dangerous. And you find yourself about a third of the way across at the bottom of the rib cage. It's really only the middle third you feel like you're going to have to swim or struggle with.
I think... Yeah, I like shout back to William on the shore. I can walk out to here, but I think we'll need to swim.
All right. I walk out to where he is. Is the water shallow enough here that I could get a running start to jump over some of the swimming? No.
It's at your ribs.
I don't think you can run, jump, and... Do you want me to... Should I try to carry any of your equipment?
You can take my shield.
Sure.
You grab his shield,
Yeah.
and you're gonna just swim across?
I might as well give you the horn as well. So we don't lose that.
Sure, whatever. I tie that onto my harness.
There's no chance of my scabbard coming loose, is there, Neal?
I wouldn't say no chance.
I'll probably give the
That is a
sword
thing
to-
that can happen. Certainly.
Don't roll a 1.
I'll give the sword to you as well, Ryan.
Grimes is looking like the Witcher. I've got like 4 swords strapped to my back.
All right.
Okay. I summon my half of my strength score is higher than my dex score, so I'll go for that non-proficient swimming check over a dex check, Neal.
Okay, so give me a non-proficient swimming check to remain afloat and get your way across.
No.
Oh, God.
No.
William gets out in there, but the cold water like hits his bones, and that joints pain acts up, and he kind of seizes, and very quickly the sensation of not being able to keep yourself afloat causes you to panic, and well, you hold your breath and you try and reach out, but like a drowning man, you are surprisingly quiet, and it looks deceiving. Most people drown because other people don't realize they're drowning, because you can't shout when you're drowning. Your body's...
But I'm getting taken down the river as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Grimes is watching you, so he can see that you're drowning.
I think so. So I succeed my proficient swimming check, and I think swim to the other side. It's freezing. I'm probably got my own struggles. So I think I get to the other side before I realize William's not there.
Yep.
Dump off all of our gear.
And it's dark,
William, where are you?
and he cannot reply.
Really?
Yeah, because your part of drowning is your body is trying to maintain air, and so you can't actually speak. That's people don't cry for help when they're drowning, and that's why they end up drowning.
I take
you're
a shot
so-
with my arrow to try and illuminate where William might be.
Give me a perception check.
And a roll to hit.
No.
Nope.
Can't see anything.
I don't know. I do what I can, Neal. I'm not sure what I can actually do here. Defeated by a river.
So, William, you are panicking. What's your constitution? You can hold your breath for 1/3 your con score.
2 minutes, I think.
2 minutes? Okay.
Con is 12, so
Oh, okay. That's
All
not as
right.
bad as I thought.
I thought it was 7. No,
No,
your
Dex
dex
is
is 7. Okay. Well, give me another unproficient swimming check, and you're gonna need to start passing these, or you're gonna just fucking drown. It's gonna be embarrassing.
All right, pass that one.
Okay. So you get yourself in a position where you can at least give out a cry for help at some point, or like bring your arm down in such a way to make a splash instead of just the like little trickles that you make constantly. And Grimes can get a fix on your location and come in.
So
running
Grimes is on the
after
other
you.
side of the river, and I think running downstream, trying to keep up with the current. I'm gonna remove my climbing harness and like let all of these blades go clattering onto the ground. Pick up later. So I think this has been like, I guess you're breathing now, right? Treading water.
I guess. Is that what's going on, Neal? Am I sort of still drowning, or am I...
You're not drowning. You've got a gasp of air. You're holding on to it. Grimes can come running up along the side and spot you out in the... Well, it's 110, 60 feet. You can probably... Yeah, you can probably hear him. You
If
definitely...
I've got a moment to, like, use my arms, I could draw my sword.
Did you have? Did you?
Didn't you just give it to him?
I gave it to you, sorry. Yeah.
Yep. So Grimes, you're on the side of the river next to him. You can see William flailing out there. Every now and then you can hear a bit of a splash, but the sound of the river itself is overpowering the rest of the noises you might make.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take the moment to remove all of my gear so I don't risk losing it. So dump all of our stuff on the far side of the river, and then
You
I
start
guess
like tossing swords out of their scabbards and
I
dropping
think
shields.
I think I remove my belt and my
Okay.
my harness
Okay.
and the scabbards and swords along with it,
Uh-huh.
and then go back into the water, I guess.
All right. You can dive in after William. William, I need you to make me another unproficient swimming check this round.
Yes.
Okay. You
Nice.
can keep yourself breathing and afloat while Grimes can come and swim out to you. Is that your swimming check?
That is a Grimes swimming check.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can put an arm around his neck and drag him to shore. He can breathe safely and splash a little bit. You guys all make it to the other side.
No more rivers. We need a raft or something. This is...
There's a lot more rivers, William.
Yeah, we need a raft or something when we get to Conquest.
I think we're on the same peninsula or whatever that leads
think
to
so.
Conquest.
Hopefully,
We'll
let's
see.
keep following.
Here, our gear's up here. We'll
Oh.
go back to our stuff. Re-equipped.
We don't see a kobold with a flaming sword.
You do not see a kobold with a flaming sword. And you guys find yourselves pretty exhausted. These two river ordeals, the shock of hot and cold, the struggle to survive. You're tired. You have no idea how much time has passed. So your normal, like, it's been a day, I can go to sleep, is kind of out of whack.
Is there anything to burn around? Can we get a fire going?
There's grass.
I say, Grimes, I'm hungry.
There's no shrubs or anything? Are we hungry?
The Caldonians of old cleared all the forests, remember, to keep the scrags away. So there is nothing left to burn, and you are not hungry at all. Or
okay.
thirsty. In fact, you haven't felt hunger or thirst since you left the cave, since you fought the scrags.
Are you hungry, William? Thirsty?
I'm always well, I mean, I could always eat, but yeah, maybe you're right. I don't feel too hungry. I haven't drank anything though.
Are we dead?
I did swallow a lot of water, so maybe. No, we're not dead. Right?
Grimes sits down in the dirt.
What do you mean dead, Grimes?
It's
We're not
back.
dead. Don't be stupid.
And I think we rest.
You guys pass out.
I'll remove my armor this time. So once I get warmed up, and sleep beneath a pile of scrag cloaks.
The scrag cloaks keep you warm, but it is a cold night. I mean, it's not Caldonian cold, so it's probably actually warm to you. But it is still, a little bit above freezing. You both wake up sometime later, having regained maybe 9 HP, despite not wearing your armor.
Okay. 9 HP?
9 HP.
9. What the hell is going on? Cool.
Can we get 10 tomorrow?
I don't know.
Let's see. All right.
What even is tomorrow? Is there a tomorrow if the sun
So
doesn't
there's
move?
the sun doesn't rise. It's still dark.
No sunrise, no moonrise, and the stars remain in their like concentrated cone in the north.
So Grimes suits back up.
Some poison these scribes have got.
I guess we keep walking.
All right. You walk along the river.
Yeah.
Token and move you. Eventually, you pass a small copse of trees alongside the river, which is now quite thick and maybe 150 feet wide, 200 feet wide at this point.
There's some trees. A fire might be nice.
A shrug. For what? Shouldn't we push on to the city?
You got warmth from your gear,
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. I guess we walk past the trees. Grimes curiously looking at it as we pass, but William pressing on.
You continue down the river farther and farther. Hours pass, but there's no real way to track time here at all. There's nothing celestial moving, and watches haven't been invented, nor water clocks, so it's just unknown amounts of plodding time. Eventually, you run into what sounds like shouting kobolds. You don't see them, you can hear them in the darkness ahead of you. And they're accompanied by like small splashing sounds.
I will take a shot with my crossbow to illuminate the in that direction.
The crossbow bolt goes right through a group of kobolds, and they all like shout and shriek in surprise. You get this like momentary glimpse of them. 4 of them were like in the river doing something. The other ones were on the side, like watching and waving their arms. And then the crossbow bolt goes between the 2 small sections. And the last thing you see before it blinks out is them bolting to the west into the plain.
Good diplomacy.
Wait,
Grimes.
where are you going? But I think they run for it.
They run.
No need to chase them down.
No need.
You know, since the last comic that guy drew, I should get his name on Reddit, but he drew the kobolds like actually like dogs. Do they run on all 4s?
I suppose when they need to run, they do so on all 4s.
So like when they like bolt, they like go down all 4s and like
Yeah,
flee like dogs.
I think
That's pretty
so.
sweet.
That makes sense.
I mean, I shrug, like, kobolds, this place is full of them. Let's just keep going.
All right.
Keep
More
going.
hours pass. You come across another copse of trees.
I think at some point I'll say to Grimes, because it's been playing on my mind. Sorry, Neal, to interrupt.
Oh, no, please.
Grimes, if we were dead, then we'd be in like the halls of Belem or in heaven or something. It wouldn't just be this place, but with no snow. This makes sense.
What do you know of heaven?
What do you know of heaven,
Or
Grimes?
hell, for that matter?
We're not dead.
The things we did. I don't know if we deserve a place amongst the gods, or at least any gods we.
What do you mean? What did we do? We did good. We're heroes, Grimes.
Of course, Captain.
I shake my head. I don't know. You sometimes you're bringing me down, Grimes. Let's stay positive here. Let's get to Conquest, and then we'll find some wood, and we'll build a raft, and we'll make our way to Swampside, and we'll find the supplies, and we'll signal Drakus, and we'll all get to go home. Done with this freezing mess.
Home. Yes, I'm sure they'll come for us. Grimes is looking. Grimes is looking suspiciously at these trees.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a bit paranoid. Are they the same trees as before?
Give me a perception check while you investigate them.
Like eyeing them. Are they? They look like normal living conifers, right? They're not like the deadwood or anything. I got a 23.
Yeah, that's definitely not the same group of trees. This one has like a small sapling that is growing up near the river bank, and the other one definitely didn't.
Okay.
Certainly different groups of trees, but by now you're tired again. It's been I don't know, it's been like 25, 30 miles of walking. So I think you guys bed down for the night.
Yeah, I'm gonna light a fire. This darkness is starting to get to me.
All right,
Okay.
good idea.
And I break some branches off the trees and use the flaming phase daggers to
They are smoky. These are
right.
fresh trees, not the dead wood that you're used to.
well, we pile it up and get a big smoky fire going.
You got
Maybe
plenty of fire
maybe-
starters.
Yeah. Maybe it's smoky and uncomfortable and we have to camp 100 feet away from it, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe out of old habit, we set some things on fire.
So stuff is like, it's not like the color isn't desaturated or anything like that right now. It's everything.
Only because it's dark and the cones in your eyes are not really working properly.
But once the fire gets going, I mean,
Yeah, totally normal everything. It's fine.
do we see any birds at all?
You never did. Caldonia was
Yeah.
always devoid of birds.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Do we hear any or anything like that? I mean, we'd know if there was birds around. I think.
You hear no birds. You see no birds.
It's the same place, Grimes. It's just... I don't know, the stars are just a bit weird and the sun's a bit weird, but I'm sure,
The sun doesn't exist, so it's a bit weird, you know?
I'm sure it's totally fine.
All right. The night passes, or doesn't really pass, but you sleep for an indeterminate period of time and gain 8 more HP.
8.
8.
What kind of game is this, Neal?
Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah. Alright.
Neal and
didn't sound
DM hacks? I don't know.
I'm almost full healed though, so that's good.
Yeah, same.
You spend the next day making your way and eventually come to a lake, a very large lake.
At least 180 yards, because I can't shoot a crossbow bolt any further.
Mm-hmm.
But we see the city, right?
Nope.
Oh shit. Shouldn't the city be here, Grimes?
I don't know. Maybe let's walk along the lake shore and see what we can find.
Okay. Which way?
North?
The only way?
I say, unsure if the direction towards the stars actually is north.
You walk along the edge of the lake until you reach the point where it like curves back in and starts to curve back out.
This is where Conquest should be, isn't it?
I think we should have already got to it.
Grimes, I think, walks to the lake shore at that like peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so is it void of features? Can just walk straight to the lake shore.
Features. No.
But there is a peninsula here, right?
Yes.
Is this I don't know, a nice peninsula? Seem like a good place to build a capital city?
Sure,
Or
yeah.
are we lost? Right? Are we
It looks
staying-
like it could be a nice place to build a capital city, but you know, you visited this place when there were buildings here and snow everywhere, so you don't really recognize the terrain.
Mhm. Am I pretty sure this is where Conquest ought to be?
I don't think you're sure of anything right now, but if you have more precise questions, I can answer them. You know, like if you remember specific things about Conquest and want to compare them to this area, I can give you yes and no's. But those broader questions are up to you, man.
I don't think I remember. I think yeah.
What's going on, Grimes?
I don't think we're in the same place. Or at least not the same time.
But the snow is melting. It's not like we've gone somewhere different. The snow's actually melted. Either way, should we get to the coast? Anyway, where Swampside is.
Cross more rivers.
We can make a rock boat.
Grimes sits down on the shore of this lake and looks out. I shoot another crossbow bolt out as far as I can, arcing it out and splashing it into the water.
How
Yeah.
far? Like, are we at the edge of the lake, or is it like a cliffside down?
No, edge of the lake. It kind of laps gently on the shore.
So if I don't know what to do. Do we see rivers? We haven't walked to the other side of the lake yet. We just walked some of the way around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've just walked a little bit into it. It comes back out.
And then there's rivers going more north. Can't see out yet.
I mean, yeah, you're on a peninsula on a lake. That's all you know. How are you guys feeling?
Worried. Grimes got me thinking we're dead. I feel the need to want to shove it all down and not confront it and just keep pushing ahead.
Smart man. Bury your emotions.
That's how William deals with things.
So should we walk?
I think we keep walking.
Swim?
No
I
point
think if we
staying.
travel north, we've got to cross more rivers.
We'll starve if maybe we won't, but we can't just stay here. Maybe we try and find kobolds? They might be able to give us rope or help us build a raft.
So do you stop? Do you keep going? Do you sit down and cry? Do you drown yourself to see if you're really dead?
Maybe we should blow the horn.
Grimes toots on a whistle hanging around his neck.
It echoes out into the... Well, I guess planes don't echo. It just like fades into the plains.
Maybe we should try and catch some of those kobolds. See if they know what's going on.
We could walk back to those trees and then head west. Seems to be where they run to, right?
Yeah. So I guess we start heading inland up the peninsula.
All right. You spend a few miles heading up this peninsula, up the next section of river, waterway, or lakeway, until it kind of comes to a crack, like a crevice. Like the ground goes up and it begins to form like a canyon beneath you, and you get to a point where like the canyon ends and you're 20 or 30 feet above the water. It's almost like a little mini fjord, and then it like wraps right back around deeper into the lake again.
How far across is it to the other side of the canyon?
I mean, at a point where the canyon ends, it's 0, and then it opens wider until it was
okay, so we can walk around.
Yeah, you just walk around it, no problem.
Okay.
And then you head back in, following the other side of this like a lip that comes out, and some hours, miles later, you come across the walls of Conquest.
Ha!
What?
We found it.
Were we not just going back on ourselves? No?
No, you went into something and out and around something and back in.
Oh, okay. Confusing. This is it, Grimes. It's here. Thank the gods.
Yeah. Not having a map is definitely throwing you guys for a loop. Not having an official map reader and a navigator. This is the stuff that Ferris has been doing for years with you guys. You know, helping you get to where you need to go. And now that you're on your own without the map, the natural world is sort of opaque, metaphorically speaking. You know, you're not sure where you are, how to get there.
I wonder if there's a map inside the library in the keep. An old map, sure, but maybe it'll still be helpful.
Yeah. So I guess we find the entrance to the city.
You do. You come across the walls. It looks much the same as it did before. The front gate is busted open and crumbled down with, you know, scorch marks from fireballs.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't like that when we first found it, right? That was the Scrag attack?
That was the Scrag attack. That's when you found Geneva Hughes dead.
So I guess we walk into Conquest once again under cover of darkness.
We should head to the temple, Grimes.
Which one?
Ask for guidance from Bellum.
So be it. We know this city fairly well, right? So we can make our way through the main gate
Yep. You make your way in.
Through the city streets, through one of the inner gates to the Temple of Bellum.
You find yourself at the Temple of Bellum.
We head down the stairs into the shrine.
Sometime.
There's a dungeon beneath it, right? And at the end of the dungeon was the statue of Bellum?
Yeah.
Or was that at the beginning of the dungeon?
It's at the end. We had to walk for a while with that ghost originally, and then we got to the statue and fought the zombies.
Yeah.
So we,
so you wander through.
Temple, beneath the temple, through the catacombs.
Until you arrive at the statue of Bellum.
All right.
Why don't you update your HP and all the jazz?
Oh.
What do you mean update it?
So that
more or?
Well, you've been gaining HP, right? Williams was still at -9. I just want accurate counts.
Okay. Yeah.
William, you're shedding light in a 30-foot radius. Grimes, I think you're shedding light in maybe a 15-foot radius? Because you just have the daggers instead of the big sword.
Sure.
Yeah. So you both should have light on your characters that expands. Perfect.
Okay, so I step up to the onto the step, and I'll drop to one knee, and then sort of draw the sword, and I would rest it on my knee, but I guess I can't really do that because it would burn me, so I just sort of like hold it. And
Does the flame hurt you?
Yeah.
And then I'll say, bow my head. Bellum, we are here, your champions. We've been victorious. Lend us aid. Show me to the next battle.
Absolutely no reply.
Does it feel different down here at all?
Not really.
No.
It's still the same cold, empty, dank dungeon as before.
Perhaps we have to find the answers on our own.
Do we rest here in this temple?
Yes, let's rest here. But tomorrow we should set about making a raft of some sort, finding materials.
Yeah. Okay. So do we take refuge in the Temple of Bellum?
Wait, can we maybe find some alcohol or something in one of the old taverns, maybe, so we don't have to feel so lifeless and unhuman? So it might be quite nice to have a sit down here and have a drink, right?
Typical Englishman. The world's falling apart. Let's go to the pub. We'll sort it out there.
Certainly make you feel better.
I admire it.
Come on, Grimes, help me look.
All right. So we leave the temple and wander the city to try and find an old tavern.
All right. You wander the city looking for an old tavern. Eventually you come across one. It has a sign written in Old Caldonian, which Grimes could understand if it was spoken aloud, but he can't read, so who knows what it
remember,
says.
between the two of us, we've got a reading proficiency that takes 3 times longer.
Oh, right. You can sound it out, and he'll be like, oh, that means blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think we bother here, but...
Okay.
No, but we're walking through the city, and I'm trying to sound out all the signs, and Grimes is like, no, that's a goldsmith's. No, that's a whorehouse. Oh yeah, that's a tavern.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You enter the World's End and find in the basement some, barrels of spirits. The barrels of beer burst open when they froze. The barrels of spirits weren't entirely full, so when they froze, they kind of filled. And now that things are melted, spirits can freeze if it gets cold enough, especially if it's magical scrag cold.
Yeah.
But now that cold is gone, the spirits have melted, and it's just like a barrel of whiskey.
Fantastic.
Or more accurately, like a half barrel of whiskey.
Is it tapped? Or
Oh, yeah.
Freezing point of ethanol is -173 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, it's magic cold, Ryan. Right? It was magic scrag cold. Don't play D&D with physicists, guys.
I pull out a couple of greasy glasses from below the bar, and I pour us both a drink.
And we while away the night like
Cheers,
good old
Grimes.
adventures in a tavern. Cheers.
It's a victory.
To Conquest.
Yeah.
And I think we spend a night here in the tavern,
All right.
drinking, eventually pass out somewhere in the bar. And
Sure. Why don't we take our first break here? Maybe you guys set up like a small fire or something to give it more of that homey atmosphere. Two of you chat indistinctly amongst yourselves. And we'll go to our first break on Homeward Bound. We'll see you guys on the other side. Bye.